Hey folks, it's Craig. How you doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Just an update on some of the things that we'll be doing around the house and around the shop. First is Colin and I decided to, after looking for a long time, myself many months, finally, and losing out on a bunch of ATVs that were sold. In our area, it's very difficult to find good ATVs. The used market here in Western New York, it's almost non-existent. You search Craigslist, you can buy anything new, but used, they go really fast, and we lost out on a number of ATVs. And we were lucky enough to find, this was I think the third or fourth one that we were looking at, and as soon as I found it on Craigslist, I immediately told the guy we want to come and look at it. So we had to drive a couple hours to go and get it, but it's pretty nice. 2009 brute force Kawasaki 750, four-wheel drive, and it's nice. It's fuel injected, and you know, it's not perfect. It's got 1,800 miles on it. I don't even know how many hours. We can check though. Let's take a look here. Oh, sorry for the glare. I got a glare on the camera. I got glare on everything. So I just rode it 10 miles, 277 hours, and 1892 on the miles. Nice machine. Fuel injected, like I said, starts right up. Real nice. Nice and quiet too. It's got the second person little stowaway thing in the back, but you can put a rider on the back. The one issue though, my son's been blasting around on this with his buddy, and he's put probably 80 miles on it since we bought it. We didn't have this problem when we first bought it, and it sat for a week, but now we have an oil leak right there. And that is common. That is a common issue because it's coming from right here. This oil seal right here where the drive shaft goes to the rear differential. Very common on these machines that have a lot of ground clearance and a lot of suspension travel. So as you can see, it's pretty clean, very clean machine. So I had been looking for an ATV to pull my shanty out on Lake Erie, and so Colin going to college in another couple months, he'll be away, and so obviously I'll have an ATV to kind of putz around with. Got a winch in the front too. All around really great machine. So far so good. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the garden, so let's head down there. Okay, I didn't do a video this year of plowing the garden. You can check out my video from last year, and then there's one from the year before where we used the wheel horse and the Bryn Hardy plow to turn the garden over. So I didn't show that this year because I had already done some videos on that. And finally this year, different from last year, it was dry. If you remember last year, we didn't even plant the garden because it was so wet. This year, thankfully so far, knock on wood, it's been okay. What we're doing new this year, if you see this raised mound here, just to the left of that is a full row, it's got to be 40 feet I think, of potatoes. So I got red potatoes growing in a full long row. And what you see coming up, well, not coming up, it's a foot tall right now, is our garlic. And I've got a bunch of garlic here that is, I planted last September, and it started coming up. We had a really warm fall. It started coming up in November, October, November, and I was a little concerned that once winter set in that these tips would all yellow and die, and that would hurt the bulbs, and it didn't at all. Once we got into winter, it's just laid down. Snow came on top of that, and boy, as soon as we started warming up, which was only 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, it snowed. I'm not kidding. We had sideways snow. I mean, it was blustery and nasty. So finally, we've gotten into this warmer, drier period. So in here, full row of red potatoes are all situated right there. See a lot of footprints. That's Maddie. That's Maddie. Yep, we got to get this thing all fenced in because Maddie loves to dig. And in this area here, we're going to put our tomatoes, and I think we're going to do some of that Hokkaido pumpkin, if not some spaghetti squash. And that big ash tree you see right there, I took a bunch of limbs off of that. I'm trying to get that thing to be more of a pyramidal shape, so that'll grow straight up and give me some more daylight here, because once that sun starts setting, I really lose a lot of daylight here, and I'm trying to get as much sun in this spot as possible. Worst case is I'm gonna have to move the garden next year up higher. I might have to do that, because you can see how much more sun there is than there is here. It's a quick update on what's new and what's going on, and hope everyone's doing well. We're going to catch you guys in the next video, and I'll have some updates as to what's going on within the garden.